It feels incredibly weird to film videos right now because it's been like 3 weeks since I've sat in front of a camera, so sorry if I'm a little bit off, but hey guys, welcome to today's video. It's going to be a first impressions. So this product right here has been raved about like non-stop in the YouTube community for the past like couple of months, so you know I had to check it out. This is the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. I bought the color Nude Ivory, and everybody is saying that this is like the best drugstore foundation ever. So today we're gonna test it out. I have no makeup on, I have no primer on. All I have on so far is my skincare. So I have some serum, some facial serum, and some moisturizer and some eye cream, and that's it. So let's hop into it. I'm gonna start by priming my face because I always prime my face, like no matter what foundation I wear. I like pore filling primers, so today I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer in the smoothing formula. Looks like this. I have my mirror down here, by the way. I also got rid of my vanity. If you've watched any of my room tours, I had 2 vanities, which is like ridiculous, I know. But I have, of course, the one behind me, and then I had my old vanity, which I kept to do my tutorials on, and I recently sold it, so now I'm using like this little table right in front of me, so I'm like a little bit like discombobulated, is that the word? A little bit about the foundation before I put it on my face. So it is a drugstore foundation, obviously. It is Wet n Wild, and there's like weird stuff on it. What is that? I got it for $5.99 at Walgreens. Typically places like Walmart and Target, you can find things for a little bit cheaper, but $5.99, I mean $6 for a foundation. It's in a very luxurious container. Why am I like wheezy? It's in a very like luxurious looking container. As you can see right here, it's a glass container. There is no pump, sadly. It has like this little spatula thing, which I'm actually not quite too sure how to use. I'm assuming you like swipe it on your face, which sounds very unsanitary, but whatever. And the shade range, it seems to run very, very light. Why does my face feel, what is that? So I put body oil on my hands because they're so dry, and I think I had like globs of it everywhere. Oh my gosh, okay, focus. So I got the color Nude Ivory, which I think is like the 5th to the lightest. Usually I grab the lightest foundation and everything, but the lightest one in this was like white, so something to think about there. So I'm going to apply half of it with a beauty blender and then the other half of my face with a makeup brush, just to see like which one applies better. Okay. This is so weird. I'm like spatulaing. The one thing I hate about drugstore face makeup is you can't color match yourself. Like they don't have testers usually. I'm getting this everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna rub this side in with a brush. This is the Artis Oval 7 brush. Looks like this might be, well, the color's not too bad. It's a little bit light, but that's okay. We'll bronze it up with some bronzer. It seems to be blending in really well. So the whole point of this foundation, if you don't know, it's photofocus, which means it's supposed to photograph really well. And that's pretty much all it's marketed as, is like a photography type of foundation. It doesn't really say matte finish, luminous finish, all day wear, full coverage, medium coverage. It doesn't like market itself that way, but what I've heard is that it's a pretty full coverage foundation with like a natural finish. And I will say it is pretty full coverage. I had like a little, I don't know if you saw, but like a little zit up there, and it seems to have covered that really well. This is rubbing in very, very well. It's blending good. Okay, so yeah, this is way too light. Look at that. Ah, the 5th from the lightest, and it's still too light. That tells you how light they run. So, okay, I'm gonna blend the other side in with a beauty blender. I feel like I might like the brush a little bit better. I can't believe I'm gonna say that. Well, I will say, okay, so the beauty blender, obviously that was a little bit quicker, but it's more natural looking on the beauty blender side, and I think beauty blenders in general just tend to do that, and it's more like full coverage with a brush. You see that? So I'm gonna try to even it out a little bit. I think either tool works fine, but if you want like a more medium coverage, use a booty blender. And if you want a more full coverage, use a brush. Okay, so first impressions, of course, I just put it on my face, but I really like the way it looks. Why does one eye look different than the other? Okay, so first impressions, of course, I just put it on my face, but first impressions, I really like the way it looks. I think it looks very natural. It definitely leans more on the matte or like semi-matte, maybe satiny finish. I will say it is clinging to some of my dry spots on my face. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but I do have some dryness like right here that it seems to be clinging to. And then I have some dryness like right here on my cheeks that it's clinging to, but it's hardly noticeable. As far as coverage goes, it's definitely like a medium to full coverage, and so far so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll check in and we'll go from there. I am back with a full face of makeup. I filmed 2 videos, you guys. One of them on the eye look, one of them on the highlighter. So keep an eye out for those. I don't know what's gonna go up first, but the eye look is Too Faced PB and Honey, and the highlighter, Nicole Guerrero, Anastasia Beverly Hills. And look at that. Look at that glow. So anyways, the foundation is holding up really well. I will say the one thing I noticed is it is settling into my smile lines pretty rapidly. I'm not like smiling a lot right now. I am talking because I'm filming videos, but I'm not like, you know, smiling a lot. So for it to settle into my smile lines so quickly is a little bit concerning, but other than that, I feel like it looks great. It's staying matte, so it's maintaining its original finish. I don't feel like it's oxidizing at all, and I think the color actually ended up working really well once I bronzed up my face a little bit with some bronzer. So overall, I think it's still looking really well. Of course, that's highlighter, so that's not like the foundation pooling up and getting oily. I'll be curious throughout the day to see how it wears right around my nose and my chin line. Those are the 2 things that I always test out when I'm using a new foundation, is my chin line and right around my nose. So I'll check in at the end of the day and show you guys what it looks like, but so far, I get the hype. Alright guys, it's time for my end of day check-in, and I've changed my shirt because I was filming some more videos. And full disclaimer here, it hasn't been like a full 8-hour day for me. Dogs are barking. Lola! It hasn't been like a full 8-hour day for me. I've only had the foundation on for maybe 6 hours, but it's the end of my day. I'm getting ready to wash my face. I haven't had like a rigorous day by any means. I wasn't like doing yard work or working out or anything like that. I was packing. Matt and I are going to Charlotte tomorrow, so like packing a suitcase, cleaning the house, filming videos, stuff like that. So keeping that in mind, I will say the foundation looks really good. It is a different time of year for me. It's the winter and I have more dry skin, so I do not like where it's like clinging to my dry patches, and luckily I've been able to like pat it out with a beauty blender throughout the day. But other than that, it's remained almost matte the entire day. I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder in case you're wondering what I'm looking at. The one downside I will say, I did notice, zooming way in, right around my nose. I don't know if you can tell, but my oils are like eating away at the foundation right around my nose. So that's a downside, and it did settle into my smile lines. Not terribly actually, but it did settle into my smile lines and my chin line a little bit. But for a $6 foundation, I can't complain, you guys. I think it's a 2 thumbs up for me. It's definitely worth checking out and trying if you're in the market for a new foundation. Check it out, and I hope that you enjoyed this first impressions video. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!